Hey everybody, welcome to a special edition of ICO or No. Today we're actually not going to go over a token sale, but we are going to go over some news that could end up having a huge impact on ICOs. You may have heard already, but China has effectively banned all ICOs as well as restricting their citizens from participating in them. The decision was made by the state-run People's Bank of China, which referenced the country's laws in their decisions. The People's Bank released a statement outlining their thought process, and I'm here to break down the statement that the bank released to give you a greater understanding of what's going on with China banning ICOs. Alright, so the first step that the People's Bank of China took in the statement was to define token sales, which is pretty straightforward, there's nothing huge there. However, the paper goes on to outline which laws token sales are breaking, including illegal distribution of financial tokens, the legal issuance of securities and illegal fundraising, and also financial fraud, including pyramid schemes. The second part of the statement declares that all token fundraising activities must stop, and completed ICOs actually will have to refund Chinese citizens or risk having their assets seized. I want to note that this is pretty similar to the United States SEC decision about the DAO, which established that ICOs are actually securities. The difference is the United States did not outright ban ICOs, while China, at least for now, has. So China's banned ICOs. What practical effect does that actually have? Well, China's always been a closed market, with their government supporting entities and projects that they have chosen to be their sanctioned businesses. It's anything but a free market, as their leaders consistently pick winners or losers and act accordingly to make sure that the companies that they have chosen succeed. However, the enormous population and amount of capital within China could end up impacting the enormous amount of money that has been pouring into these ICOs. China has over a seventh of the world's population, is the second largest economy, so sure, it will definitely impact the totals that these ICOs have been bringing in. I think this was already displayed in how the market reacted to this decision. Last weekend, prices crashed, mainly out of recognition that it would be that much harder for Chinese investments to drive up the prices of these ICOs. Now, we have seen prices bounce back a little bit, but not close to the levels that they were before this weekend and before this announcement. I think that this is particularly bad news for the big hitters like Bitcoin and Ethereum, which are used and have to be purchased in order to participate in these ICOs. Now that the Chinese population won't be buying those bigger tokens in order to participate in these ICOs, you might see some downward pressure on those prices as well. One cryptocurrency that I think will especially be affected, either good or bad, is NEO. NEO has kind of branded itself as China's Ethereum. However, since China is a pretty closed economy and everything's state-run, you pretty much have to be sanctioned to do business. I'm not sure if NEO is going to reach that status, but if they do and are picked as the platform that China is going to use, that price might skyrocket. Even if it's not NEO, whatever platform China ultimately chooses is probably going to have a lot of success, since the competition that they will face will be controlled by the Chinese government. Will this decision stop ICOs? Not by any means. The Chinese are going to be restricted in the ICOs that they can participate in. However, I think that the savvy Chinese investors will likely just move their capital to different markets, focusing on ICOs outside of China's jurisdiction. I think that this statement and the SEC statement on the DAO is definitely showing a greater trend. Issuers of fiat currency are trying to restrict their citizens to use only that currency. Will this method work? I really don't think so. Cryptocurrencies have the ability to transcend borders, and I doubt that any of these countries have the power to completely squash token sales, especially with a decentralized internet.